So a couple things, like the title Casually Extravagant comes from page 8 of this book, where, and it's a coffee scene, and so like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, like it's about an Irish immigrant family, and it like follows the main character who's like one of the daughters, Francie, and so she, on page 8 of the book, is like talking about how every day they get 1 cup of coffee and like a sugar bun, and so she's like, the thing that separates the rich from the poor is the rich have something to waste. And so she's like, at night, I like sip my coffee and like to wash down my sugar bun and like it's a couple more sips. And then I regally pour the cup down the drain, and in that moment I feel casually extravagant. And I was like, that's nuts. And I just thought it was a cool title, and it was like around coffee, and so I was like, and it was a cool concept, and so I was like, oh, okay, I'll call my book that, because I wanted my next book to be thought-centered around a cup of coffee. And it,
Oh no, I was gonna say, it's interesting that you caught that small little detail.
Yeah, I just thought it was like cool, and like it was literally, it's like right at the beginning of the book, it's page 8. And I just like thought it was cool. Like the coffee they're drinking in that book is like disgusting. Like thick. Like but that's like, it's such a cool thing, and like the title sounded so sick because it's like casual but also extravagant.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was trying to do with like the fonts and like the cover. Like I feel like the font is like more extravagant, and the cup is a little bit more casual looking, but also has a little bit of extravagance to it because it's like a cup with a saucer. And then the illustrations in it are also, they're not like super detailed, they're kind of like simple, like crisp lines and stuff. And then it's got like some fun details, like the page numbers. There's like a cup of coffee, and you flip through it goes down.
Oh, nice.
And then you flip it the other way, it goes up. Which is kind of fun.
So it's like those little details. Like,
yeah.
Was that always in the plan, or was it organic as you were progressing while writing this?
So, when I was writing this book, or like, well, I think I had already like finished writing this book, and I was like editing, and it took me a while to edit this one because it was like the first one, and we were kind of going slow, me and my editor. I was writing books for this one and starting to put it together. And then I met with my buddy who designed the cover and did all the illustrations. And he was like, we just like sat down, and I had some ideas, and I was like, but you can kind of like run wild with it, down to see what you think. But one of the things that I picked out was like, I wanted a detailed adaptation, because I was like, I think that could be kind of cool, because I like broke up the collection where it's like, the first part is a full cup of coffee, the second part is a half cup of coffee, and then the third part is the last sip. So it's kind of cool.
I like the process.
Yeah. And there's like a reason behind it. It's like, for me, it's like the best, like the greatest moments of like contemplation start with a cup of coffee. So you make a cup of coffee, and like when you sit down, you're like, and I'm ready, like I can copy the world. And you just sit down and you're like sipping the coffee, and you're like thinking of everything, different ideas, emotions, feelings, and then you get like halfway through the cup, and you're like, okay, started to like think about these things and going a little bit further, and then you keep going, and then like you're like savoring it, and you're like really like swishing around, and you're like, okay, this is what I think about this idea, or like this is I think what I'm feeling, and then like as you take that last sip, you're like, okay, I like fully experienced this, fully thought this out, and now I'm gonna like move forward. So it's kind of how I was thinking.